dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano boarding and day.
Hello candidates, and welcome again to our today's class. And this video class is aimed at enabling us continue covering the syllabus despite the pandemic that is here with us. And I want to believe that you are good. I want to believe you are staying safe at home. So I want to welcome you so that we move together and look at these grammar lessons. And this lesson today is about adverbs. But before we get into that, allow me to remind you that last week we were talking about a comprehension passage and we were focusing purely on the reading skills. We had the reading and the listening skills. Now today we want to get into grammar to try and understand exactly what we are talking about. Now, we want to ask ourselves a question that what is an adverb? What is an adverb in the English language? It sounds good to define an adverb that it is a word that is used to change or qualify. Concentrate there. It's used to change or to qualify. The meaning of an adjective, a verb, a clause, another adverb, or any other type of word or phrase with the exception of determines and adjectives that directly modify what? Modify nouns. What are we talking about here? That this word we are calling an adverb, it changes an adjective. It changes an adverb. It qualifies. It gives it more information. Once an adjective or an adverb is used or a clause has been said, the moment we introduce an adverb there, you are able to understand that given clause better. You are able to understand that given adjective in totality, in its great totality. That's why we are saying it is a word that is used to change or to qualify that given information. Having said that, they are considered to be single part of speech and they perform a wide range of functions. Yes, adverbs perform a wide range of functions and they carry out their functions by answering questions like, move with me, we are answering questions here. And as we are answering these given questions, the WH questions, you remember what we talked about, those given WH questions, the moment we start answering them, again, we introduce what? Adjectives. For example, she always arrives early. She always arrives early. The question is, when does she arrive? When does she arrive? We have an adverb here. She always arrives early. When? At what time does she arrive? We move ahead. How? Is another question. He drives carefully. How does she or how does he drive? We say he drives carefully. In this given case here, we have the word carefully. So carefully there becomes our adverb. The manner in which he drives. Look here. Even if you took this sentence or you just said it the way it is and said, He drives. He drives. This sentence is grammatically correct. It's a complete English sentence. It is a simple sentence. But the question is, how? How does he drive? He drives carefully. Carefully adds value. Carefully qualifies this given statement, and then you get to understand how this person what? Drives. So at that particular point, we are there. Next, where? They go everywhere together. Where do they go? They go everywhere. So everywhere there becomes our adverb. In what way? She eats slowly. How does she eat? In what way does she eat? She eats what? She eats slowly. So that one becomes our adjective or rather adverb. Then to what extent? To what extent? We say it is terribly hot. So terribly hot is a way in which it is. But we can remove terribly and say it is what? It is hot. That sentence is still correct. It is hot. But in which way? To what extent? It is terribly terribly hot. So terribly in this given way becomes our adverb, telling us the manner in which it is what? The manner in which it is hot. So we move forward and now welcome you to continue with our discussion. That when adverbs are used in modifying verbs, the meaning of these sentences makes more sense and it's easily understood. What do I mean by that? If the meaning makes more sense, what do we mean? I want you to look at these two sentences here. And I've used two different shades of colors to define, to get a clear understanding of what we are talking about. Now, the dog ran. That is the sentence. The dog ran. And I've tried to highlight here by saying, you can picture a dog running. When I say the dog ran, it comes into your mind. What is this dog doing? You can picture a dog running, but you don't really know much more about the scene. Yes, that is true. I like this. Because you are looking at the dog, thinking about the dog running, but you are not sure about how is this dog running. In this sentence here, adverbs have not been added. It's a plain sentence. There are no adverbs. Look at the second sentence. The dog ran excitedly. The dog ran excitedly. I want you to concentrate on that one here. It ran what? Excitedly. Can you imagine a dog running excitedly? I know you know what I'm talking about. When a dog comes running excitedly to you, it means this dog has some happiness. This dog is running to you because it has seen something or someone familiar to it. So, in this given case, we are saying you can picture the dog running. That is already in your mind, the mental picture created. Wagging its tail. Look at that particular dog. Think about it. That dog. And then pumping happily. The dog is pumping happily. And looking glad to see its owner. The dog is happy that it saw the owner. So, the owner is there, and then the dog ran excitedly. So you can paint a much more interesting picture in your head when you know how and why the dog is running. So those two sentences there, the dog ran. There's no question about why. But in this given case, why did it run? It ran very fast because at this particular point, it was looking glad to see the owner. And then in this given case, it was panting happily. It was wagging its tail, and then the dog was running. So it's running, wagging the tail because it has seen the what? The owner. We get a true picture. We answer the question why the dog is running. So think about that. So we move forward and say adverbs are often formed by adding letter ly to adjectives. And this makes it very easy to identify adverbs in sentences. However, we have some exceptions to this given rule. What do I mean by exceptions? When we talk about exceptions here, I'm talking about a scenario or a situation where we have some words. This given word that we are talking about, we are at a point where we get to understand exactly that everywhere, nowhere, and upstairs are exceptions. For them, when we want to, they are adverbs, yes, but we don't form by adding ly. It doesn't come to its total reality. So, an adverb can be used to modify an adjective and intensify the meaning it conveys. E.g., he plays tennis well. It means he knows how to play tennis, and sometimes he wins. What about the second sentence? He plays tennis extremely well. That is it. That he plays tennis extremely well. Extremely well. He knows how to play tennis so well that he wins. So that is how those two different sentences are making sense. The second sentence gives us more idea of what we are talking about. So types of adverbs. We have adverbs of place. They are telling us where the action happened, e.g., everywhere, here, inside, there, underground, and upstairs. We also have adverbs of time and frequency. They let us know when or how often the action happened, e.g., after, always, before, later, now, and today. And then next we have adverbs of degree, the degree in which something is done. So they tell us more about the extent to which an action is done. Almost, enough, so, to, quite, or other. And then adverbs of manner, they tell us about the way in which something was done, e.g., briskly, cheerfully, expectantly, randomly, willingly, or excitedly. And then we have to again reason this way, that some adverbs are used as intensifiers. They give the intensity, e.g. absolutely, certain, completely, heartily, really, and definitely. So when you look at all those adverbs that we have talking about, we are at a point where we can look at them in sentences. She was walking rapidly. How was she walking? She was walking rapidly. Rapidly becomes our example. So other examples of adjectives in this particular case becomes abruptly, boldly, carefully, deliberately, mildly, horribly, financially, excitedly, openly, poorly, quickly, sadly, terribly, willingly, and yearly. So these are other examples of adjectives. So we wrap up this lesson by knowing that when we want to form adverbs, we form adverbs by adding ly. We form adverbs by adding what? Add ly, and this ly is being added to what? To adjectives. Once we add ly to adjectives, in that given case, we are forming what? We are forming what we are calling what? Adverbs. So having said that, I want to wish you a nice time, and we meet again in our next class when time allows. Stay safe.